everyone, welcome to this week's Trimcraft Tuesday video. For this week's video I am doing a scrapbook layout with one of the newer collections from Trimcraft, which is the Dovecraft Sweet Moments collection. Now this video is slightly longer than my usual Trimcraft Tuesdays, and that is because for the first few minutes I'm going to be sort of making my own embellishments. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this stamp and die set that comes with the collection and stamping out the cakes and the little teapot and the little time for tea sentiment, I think. And what I'm going to do is colour those with Copic markers or Copic markers, however you prefer to say. Copic's more common, but I think we're allowed to say Copic in the UK. Never quite sure. But yes, so I'm going to colour those in and die cut them as well. So yes, I haven't left too much of the colouring process in, partially because I wouldn't want to claim I'm a total expert in colouring with Copics, but also when I do that kind of thing, I have to get up really, really close. I'm one of those people whose eyelashes are basically touching the page, so there's an awful lot of the back of my head which I've had to cut out. But yes, I have done a little bit of stuff with the Copics and doing some blending and some shading to just kind of give these little things some more depth and dimension and stuff. I have as well made more than I know I'm going to use on this scrapbook layout, but I wanted to, I might as well make them all in one go, and then I have them to use for other projects as well. So yes, I have, as I said, left out a fair bit of this colouring process. I'm just showing you, for example, there on the strawberries, I've coloured them in that lovely red colour, and then sort of gone around the edges in that same colour because you can sort of layer the Copics and make areas darker and stuff. I'm doing the same on this little, and there's the back of my head, on the chocolate cake I've created. I'm just adding that brown colour again around the edges, just gives it more depth and stuff. But again, I wouldn't want to claim I'm a total expert on this. I have been playing around with Copics for years and years and years, but probably not as much as I should have to have learnt what I probably could have in about the 10 plus years since I bought my first. But yes, I spent ages on these little teapots because I wanted to do them in a way that made them look more of a round shape, and then obviously doing different colours on the little flowers that are on the teapots and stuff. Yes, so I can't tell you the colours I've used because I didn't make a record of it. I'm sorry. I do, as you may have noticed, I use the Copic Chow, which are just like the Copic Sketch, in the formula of the pen, but they are just smaller, really, and they come in fewer colours, I think, but they still come in 160 or 70 colours, which I feel like is enough. I also took a white Uniball Signo gel pen just to add a touch of white on, say, the top of the chocolate cake, because it makes it look more like, chocolatey icing, give it a bit of shine. I'm just darkening up the edges of my cupcakes there, and now I'm just showing you that I'm going to go off camera to die cut all these little shapes with the dies that come with the collection. And now those are all cut out. Look how super cute they are. They are very adorable. I'm actually going one step further with these, and I'm covering them with a layer of glossy accents. And what that does is it gives them that finish. It kind of makes them look like little resin pieces, isn't the right word I'm looking for, like little epoxy stickers or something. So they're quite solid and they've got a shiny finish. So yes, you may think I'm putting an awful lot of effort into these little embellishments, and maybe I am, but I do enjoy the process. So yes, best way of doing this with your glossy accents is to go around the edge of the shape. You just want to be very gently squeezing it at the same time so you get sort of a steady flow of the glossy accents come out. And then, yes, as I said, go around the edge and then fill in the middle. If you get any bubbles come up, then you need to pop those because otherwise they will dry with the bubbles in them, and that doesn't look so good. So, yes, now I am showing you those little finished pieces there. Look how cute they are, and they're all shiny and stuff. Please ignore my horrifically dry hands. Ugh, use some moisturizer, Grace. Yes, but very proud of those. Think those are cute. So now it's time for the actual layout. Hooray! We're 4 minutes in. So this is going to be a bunting themed layout. I have done this before with the Dovecraft collection, so I've tried to make it slightly different from the one I did before with it was Nature's Grace I did that with before. So I've got scraps from the collection that I've obviously used for other projects, and I'm cutting a load of squares and rectangles, all around 1.5 inches, an inch. I think the longest measurement is 1 3/4 kind of thing, and I've just made a load of those, and then I'm going to cut the bunting shapes into them. So some of them with I don't know if there's different words for it, there's bunting with 2 pointy edges and some with 1 pointy edge, so the inward shape and the sticky out. I don't know what the words are. I'm sure you know what I mean. So yes, I've done that. I've done it at different depths, slightly different shapes and stuff, just to make them all a bit different. I don't know how many I've done. I just did it until I felt like there was enough kind of thing. And yes, there we go. So the picture, you can just see it in the top right there, is a picture of my mum's birthday cake from her birthday last year when she was turning excuse me, yes, when she was turning that age. Being the hilarious person I am, I went into the kitchen to put candles on the cake, and in the box of birthday candles, anyone else have that box that is just full of like random birthday candles and stuff? Anyway, in that box I saw a giant 2 and a giant 1, and I was like, well, I'm going to be hilarious, and I put 21 on her cake for her not 21st birthday. So yes, I found this on my camera roll and I was like, I want to scrapbook this with the Sweet Moments collection. So that's what I did. So I am just laying out my little bunting shapes here just to get the idea of where I want to put them. I wanted to have them kind of overlapping each other, like you would get like a really, really busy event or something, sort of like a Great British Bake Off kind of vibe kind of thing, just bunting all over the place. So that is what I'm doing with that. And obviously taking a picture so I remember where everything is supposed to go. Of course it's me, so I can't not do the tiniest bit of mixed media on the page. It added a little bit more depth to the page, I think. And all I've done is just sprayed on some Heidi Swapp in blush and Lindy's in Saltwater Taffy, and done this tiny bit of packaging technique. That's it, just the tiniest bit. It's not really necessary, but it's just for me, I have to do a little bit, otherwise I will keel over and die apparently, I don't know. So I'm going to put on my bunting with little glue dots, and what I'm doing, where the bunting is going to overlap another layer, I am not sticking those bits down, because what I'm now going to do is stitch over the bunting. And obviously if I'm stitching each row, I can't stitch a row if there's a row on top of it kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is just poke my holes and stitch one row at a time kind of thing, but I'm just sort of putting those bunting pieces upside down there so I know like the spacing and where they're going to go and stuff. So my stitching, what I'm going to do is 3 different colours. I've got like a pastel lemony yellow, that's this one here. I've got a cornflower blue and a light pink, just all colours that are going to go with the collection. I'm using all 6 strands of the embroidery thread or embroidery silk, whatever you prefer to call it. Just because I'm not doing like my normal stitching, which is usually about a 1/4 of an inch or even less apart per hole. I'm just doing 2 holes per bunting flag and then a little bit between it sort of thing. So because there's quite big gaps between each stitch hole sort of thing, you need the thread to be thicker, because then you can see it better. That probably didn't make even the tiniest bit of sense, and I apologise, but yes, anyway, my point is it's big stitching. So there we go, I've cut that out because it's just me doing the same thing over again. As I said, I did each row at a time, so I didn't have to stitch under or over anything where it was overlapping. I'm just going to finish off here with this little bit in the corner. The reason I have done 2 yellow, 2 blue and 1 pink is because I didn't have that much pink thread. It's no reason about colour theory or anything, it's just didn't have that much pink. So yes, I'm just going to finish off this little bit up here, just showing you how I do that. All the thread gets attached with washi on the back. I have this one roll of washi that I'm not too particularly bothered about, and I call it my stitching washi because that's all the poor thing ever gets used for. And then what I'm going to do now, my original plan was to have bows at the end of each row of bunting, the little bows that come in this collection, but when I tried that, they looked, as beautiful as they are, they were too much for the layout. So what I've done is just tie little bows with my scraps of the same thread I've used for the stitching. I'm just going to put those on the end of each row instead, and I'm attaching those with glossy accents because, well, basically the general rule is the more delicate the thing, the stronger the adhesive you need, generally speaking. That's a very large generalization. Now I'm sure there was a way of doing it to, you know, do the bow within the stitching kind of thing and finish off the stitching with the bow. But I know naff all about sewing and stitching, really. I can do very basic paper stitching. I can even do a chain stitch, but other than that, I'm clueless. So, as I said, there was probably a way of doing it, but for me, it was just easier to tie the little bows and glue them on. So, yes. Now, we are 10 minutes into this process video, and I'm finally starting to do the embellishment and stuff. So, yes, I'm just backing my photo with 2 papers, which are ones that I haven't used for any of the bunting, so it helps it stand out a bit more. I've put a couple of doilies on the back. Those are from the Nature's Grace collection. And then I'm going to embellish with all sorts of things. Some of these little paper flowers, or paper blossoms as they're called, by Dovecraft. I'm going to use those little heart accordion stickers. I'm going to use bows. I'm going to use the adhesive pearls. I'm going to use other there's the other flowers there. You can see them on the right there. Just all of the things. And then obviously I'm going to use those little embellishments that I made. We'll finally get back to those at some point. But yes, I'm making quite a big cluster around my photo, a big cluster of embellishments, that is, because obviously it's a very busy layout with all that bunting and stuff, and I needed to make the embellishing around the photo very, very heavy. And also my plan was, with the little embellishments that I made, was to have them sort of poking in and out of the bunting, have them kind of all over the layout. So again, because of that, I needed to put make a lot of embellishments around the photo, as I said, to help it pop a little bit more. So yes, I've put a little flower like behind those embellishments that I've put next to the photo, and then others just kind of just going in and out. I'm going to put a little cake down there, not the chocolate cake. I think the chocolate cake is a favourite one of the little things I've created. Yes, but yes, at this point I was like, right, I need to get my title down. So my title is Time for Inaccurate Cake, because as I told you, the 21 on the cake wasn't quite inaccurate to the age my mum was turning at the time. Obviously it wasn't that far off. But yes, I have to be good because she watches my videos. Hi Mum. But yes, the cake is that phrase that says cake, word, whatever, sticker. That is from a Dear Lizzie stickers pack. It's an older collection, you know, the really party cakey themed one. I've forgotten the name of it. The letters I've used to spell out, well, it's not spelling it out at the moment, but it says time for. Those are from Hobbycraft, and I've had them for an age. They were actually falling to pieces, so they were a bit of a pain. And then these little stamps I'm using to spell out inaccurate. I've just stamped it there on that little piece of paper just to get an idea of how much room it's going to take up, kind of thing. But these are these little Dovecraft sort of alphabet pig stamp things. Now, full confession, I bought these a very long time ago. I bought about 5 packs of them because they were really cheap in Hobbycraft. And yes, as I said, full confession, I've only recently started using them because I used to think they were a bit of a faff. But I've actually discovered they're flipping great, and now I'm using them all the time. So yay for new things. So yes, you can still pick those up really cheap, as I said, in Hobbycraft and the range. They are just called Dovecraft mini alphabet stamps, I think, and they come in lots of different fonts. So yes, I've put inaccurate there on the stamp with the stamps, and I'm going to put time for, as I said, with those Hobbycraft stickers. They may still do them, I don't know, but yes, I had to glue those down with tacky glue because they just fell apart. And that's not necessarily because they're old. If I'm honest, they were falling apart when I first bought them. I'm going to put a little bow at the top of the picture there just because, I don't know, it's pretty. Why else do we do anything in scrapbooking? At the top right there, where 2 of the bows met, I wasn't really happy with it. I thought it looked a bit messy. So I've put another paper blossom and then a flower on top of that just to cover it up. Like, you can still see that there's bows underneath there, but you can't, like, I just wasn't happy with it. I didn't like the way they look together. So yes, I'm adding some of the glitter stickers from the collection around the place. And then I'm just adding some tacky glue onto those as well, just to be extra sure that they're going to stay where they're told to. And also, like where I've put my handmade embellishments, I'm often enhancing those with stickers. And I'm going to put a ton of the adhesive pearls on here, just because I love my adhesive pearls so much. So yeah, a lot of those went down, and also put those around all the other embellishment clusters all around the page because it helps them pop and stuff. Now, I was at this stage just like I wasn't 100% satisfied, so what I've done is I've taken a Uniball white gel pen, that's the Uniball Signo Broad, and I'm just kind of doing that fake stitching effect around some of the bunting pieces, not all of them because I thought that would be too much, but yeah, as I said, just some of them. It just gives the whole layout a bit more depth and interest and stuff. It did look better on the pink and the blue, but I haven't done it on all the pink and the blue because that would look weird. And now I am finishing off with a grey pen and doing that same sort of fake stitching effect with pen, and I'm going to do that around the whole of the border. I didn't want to do actual stitching because that would be too much, but just doing this pen stitching in the grey pen, I thought black would be, again, too much. Grey was just right. That, I don't know, it just brings the whole layout together and grounds it a bit, because as I said, because it's so busy, it just needs something to just hold it all in together, bring it in together kind of thing. And then there we go. I just very quickly stamped the date there, which is 3rd of February 2017, and I am finished. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope maybe it gave you some ideas and inspiration and all those wonderful things. If you have any questions, please do let me know. Other than that, please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed, leave me a comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Links in the description box as always. And yes, thank you again. I am going. Bye bye.